You're broke because you act broke. Period. End of discussion. Every single day, without even realizing it, you're running the exact same patterns that designed your financial failure. The same habits keeping you chained. The same mediocrity rituals you practice like gospel truth. Right now, as you're listening to this, you're probably thinking this doesn't apply to you. You're different. You're trying. You're working hard. But here's what nobody told you. Working hard in the wrong direction is just organized failure. Brian Tracy spent decades studying why some people explode while others implode. He interviewed millionaires, billionaires, and people who went from nothing to everything. And he discovered something that will make you uncomfortable. Something that will challenge everything you believe about money, success, and why you are where you are. It's not luck. It's not the government. It's not your parents. It's not the economy. It's not your education. It's not your background. It's you, your mind, your microscopic decisions every single second of every single day. Your bank account is just a photograph of your thoughts. And if it's empty, you already know what's happening upstairs. How much longer are you going to pretend it's not your fault? Let me paint you a picture. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up at the same time, hit snooze 3 times, check their phone before their feet hit the floor, complain about Monday, work without purpose, consume mindlessly, scroll endlessly, sleep without growing even a millimeter. And the next day, same thing. Life on repeat. A broken record of poverty. This isn't just a lifestyle. This is a prison. A prison with invisible bars made of comfort zones, excuses, and the deadly phrase, "That's just how it is." You don't lack money. You have an abundance of conformity. You don't lack opportunities. You have an abundance of distractions. You don't lack potential. You have an abundance of procrastination. Brian Tracy identified 7 lethal habits. 7 silent wealth assassins you're probably executing right now, while you're listening to this, without knowing it. These aren't just habits. They're wealth viruses. They spread through your life, infecting every decision, every thought, every action. You think you know your own patterns? You have no idea. Your subconscious mind is running programs you never agreed to install. Programs that keep you exactly where you are. Comfortable in your discomfort, familiar with your failure. But here's what Tracy discovered that will shock you. These habits aren't permanent. They're not your destiny. They're just software, and software can be rewritten. Your brain is wired for instant gratification like a desperate addict. You want results now, money now, success now, recognition now. But real wealth is built in decades, not days. In compound interest, not quick fixes. In systems, not shortcuts. Let me show you how deep this programming goes. When you see a successful person, what's your first thought? They're lucky. They had connections. They started with money. Never, they probably worked for 10 years before anyone noticed. Never, they probably failed 50 times before they succeeded once. Every time you choose the quick option over the correct one, you're voting for your own poverty. Every impulse purchase on Amazon at 2 a.m. Every Netflix binge when you should be learning. Every decision that prioritizes today over tomorrow. Every moment you trade your future for 5 minutes of present pleasure. And you do exactly this when you prefer spending over investing. When you choose entertainment over education. When you say you'll start tomorrow what you should start right now. When you buy the latest iPhone instead of buying stocks. When you lease a car to look successful instead of driving used and investing the difference. The poor mindset always seeks shortcuts. Get-rich-quick schemes. Lottery tickets. Crypto gambles. Day trading with money you can't afford to lose. The rich mindset builds systems. Boring, consistent, compound systems that work while you sleep. Here's a brutal example. If you invested just $300 per month starting at age 25, by age 65 you'd have over $1.2 million at 7% returns. But most people spend $300 per month on things they can't even remember buying. Coffee, subscriptions, impulse purchases, convenience foods. Still believe money comes fast to those who deserve it. Still think the rich got lucky while you got screwed? Your brain has 2 systems. System 1 is fast, emotional, impulsive. System 2 is slow, logical, deliberate. Guess which one controls your spending? System 1. Every time. That's why you can know intellectually that you should save, but emotionally you buy things you don't need. That's why you can understand compound interest but still choose instant pleasure over delayed gratification. The wealthy have trained System 2 to override System 1. They've built what psychologists call delayed gratification muscle. They can see a purchase and ask, is this moving me closer to or further from my goals? Poor people ask, can I afford the monthly payment? Rich people ask, what is the opportunity cost of this decision? Your boss is an idiot. The economy is rigged. Your education was worthless. Your family held you back. Your country has no opportunities. The system is corrupt. The rich get richer while the poor get poorer. There's always a perfect villain to explain your mediocrity. Let me tell you what this really is. It's the most expensive story you'll ever tell yourself. Because while you're busy being right about why you can't succeed, others are busy being successful. It's easier to point outward than look in the mirror. It's more comfortable being a victim than being responsible. It's safer to blame than to change. But every finger you point at others is one less finger building your empire. Rich people don't look for someone to blame. They look for solutions. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, how can I use this to my advantage? And you do exactly this when you explain why you can't instead of finding how you can. When your first reaction to a problem is finding who to blame instead of finding a strategy. When you spend more energy complaining than creating. Let me give you a reality check. There are millionaires who started with nothing in every country, every economic system, every background. There are people who overcame worse circumstances than yours and built fortunes. There are individuals who turned their biggest disadvantages into their greatest advantages. While you're busy being a victim, you'll never have time to be victorious. Here's what successful people understand that broke people don't. You are 100% responsible for your life. Not 99%. Not mostly responsible except for this one thing. 100%. This isn't fair. Life isn't fair. But responsibility isn't about fairness. It's about power. The moment you accept complete responsibility for your results is the moment you gain complete power to change them. When you blame external factors, you give away your power to those factors. You make your success dependent on things you can't control. But when you take responsibility, you take back control. You walk through life like a zombie without GPS, not knowing exactly where you're going. No plan, no numbers, no dates, nothing. Just a vague sense that you want more and better someday. You say you want more money but don't know how much. You say you want freedom but don't define what it means. You say you want success but have no idea what it looks like. You say you want to be rich but have never calculated what rich means to you. A ship without a destination always arrives at the wrong place. A person without goals always arrives at nowhere. And you do exactly this when your dreams are vague and your plans are non-existent. When you live in someday world instead of by this specific date world. When you say, I want to be financially free, instead of, I want to have $500,000 invested by age 40 generating $20,000 per year in passive income. Poverty is the default destination for those without clear goals. Did you really think the universe was going to guess what you want? Harvard Business School did a study. They asked MBA students if they had written goals. Only 3% had written specific goals. 13% had goals but hadn't written them down. 84% had no goals at all. 10 years later, they followed up. The 13% with unwritten goals were earning twice as much as the 84% with no goals. But the 3% with written goals? They were earning 10 times more than the other 97% combined. Written goals aren't just wishes with ink. They're contracts with your future self. They're magnets that attract opportunities. They're filters that help you say no to distractions and yes to what matters. But most people resist setting specific goals because specific goals can be failed. Vague dreams can never fail because they can never be achieved. It's a psychological protection mechanism that keeps you safe and keeps you broke. Your social circle is a brutal mirror of your financial future. If all your friends are broke, Congratulations, you will be too. If everyone in your circle complains about money, so will you. If your network celebrates Friday and dreads Monday, welcome to lifetime employment. It's not coincidence. It's emotional gravitation. Poor minds attract each other like defective magnets. They reinforce each other's excuses. They validate each other's mediocrity. They create echo chambers of limitation. Your network is your net worth, but nobody told you it also works in reverse. Show me your friends and I'll predict your bank account balance within 20%. And you do exactly this when you prefer the comfort of being the most successful among failures over the discomfort of being the least successful among winners. When you choose familiar mediocrity over unfamiliar excellence. If you're the most ambitious person in your group, you need to change groups immediately. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. If your circle isn't challenging you, it's limiting you. Do you really think you can fly with ducks and reach where eagles soar? Success leaves clues. But you have to be close enough to see them. You have to be in proximity to people who think differently, act differently, and achieve differently than you do. This doesn't mean abandoning your current friends. It means expanding your circle. It means finding mentors, joining mastermind groups, attending conferences, reading books by people who've achieved what you want to achieve. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. But the quality of your questions is determined by the quality of the people you surround yourself with. Broke people ask broke questions. Rich people ask rich questions. You spend more on entertainment than education, more on distractions than skills, more consuming garbage content than consuming knowledge that transforms. You'll spend $15 on a movie ticket but won't spend $15 on a book that could change your life. Your financial ignorance isn't innocent. It's expensive, catastrophically expensive, costs you thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions throughout your lifetime. Every concept you don't understand is money you'll never have. Every skill you don't develop is income you'll never earn. Ignorance is the most expensive tax you'll pay in your life. And the crazy part? It's completely voluntary. And you do exactly this when you justify not reading, not studying, not learning because you don't have time. But you have 3 hours daily for endless social media scrolling. You have time to watch every Netflix series, but no time to learn about investing. You have time to debate politics with strangers online, but no time to study the tax code. Financial education isn't a luxury. It's survival in the 21st century. Here's something most people don't realize. There's an education arbitrage opportunity right now. While most people are consuming entertainment, you can be consuming education. While they're scrolling, you can be studying. While they're being entertained, you can be getting educated. The information that could transform your life is available right now, often for free. YouTube videos by millionaires, podcasts by billionaires, books by people who've achieved what you want to achieve. But most people choose cat videos over cash flow videos. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science by reading books. But you don't have time to read one book per month? You postpone everything that would give you real results. Investments, education, career changes, businesses, starting that side hustle, learning that new skill, having that difficult conversation. You always have a perfect excuse to wait. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Complete preparation is a myth. Total security is an illusion. The stars will never align. The conditions will never be ideal. The timing will never be perfect. While you wait for the ideal moment, others are already 3 steps ahead. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's fear disguised as perfectionism. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But here's what you don't realize. The cost of waiting is always higher than the cost of starting. And you do exactly this when you say, when I have more money, I'll invest. When I know more, I'll start. When the perfect moment comes, I'll act. But that moment never arrives because it doesn't exist. The rich act with incomplete information. The poor wait for complete certainty. The wealthy understand that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. How much longer will you keep rehearsing for a show that never starts? Research shows that people who have too many options often choose nothing. It's called analysis paralysis. You research every possible investment option until you never invest. You analyze every possible business opportunity until you never start. You study every possible strategy until you never act. Successful people understand that a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan executed never. They know that you can steer a moving ship, but you can't steer a parked car. The goal isn't to eliminate risk. The goal is to take calculated risks based on the best information available right now. Because the biggest risk of all is doing nothing. The most obvious but most ignored. You live in a financial theater where you pretend to have what you don't with money you don't possess to impress people you don't care about. Your Instagram looks rich while your bank account looks broke. Your lifestyle is an expensive lie. Your image is a luxury you can't afford. Your ego has a credit card that your future is paying with interest. You're financing a fantasy while bankrupting reality. You can't spend your way to wealth. You can only spend your way to poverty faster. You can't fake it till you make it when faking it prevents you from making it. And you do exactly this when your first reaction to a salary increase is increasing your expenses instead of increasing your investments. When you get a raise and immediately upgrade your lifestyle. When you measure success by how much you can spend instead of how much you can save. The difference between rich and poor isn't how much you earn. It's how much you keep from what you earn. It's the gap between income and expenses. It's the difference between consuming and creating wealth. Here's something that will blow your mind. If you earn $50,000 per year and save 20%, you'll save more money than someone who earns $100,000 per year and saves 5%. The person making half as much will accumulate twice as much wealth. Most people focus on increasing income when they should focus on increasing the percentage they keep. Because no matter how much you make, if you spend it all, you'll still be broke. The wealthy understand a simple equation. Wealth equals income, expenses. You can increase the left side by increasing income or decreasing expenses. But decreasing expenses gives you immediate results and requires no permission from anyone else. These 7 habits aren't random mistakes. They're a system, program, a matrix designed to keep you exactly where you are. Comfortable in your discomfort, familiar with your failure, addicted to your own limitations. They feed on each other. Short-term thinking leads to blaming others. Blaming others prevents you from setting clear goals. No clear goals means you don't seek better relationships. Poor relationships mean no one challenges you to grow. No growth means no education. No education means bad decisions. Bad decisions reinforce short-term thinking. It's a closed loop, a prison of your own making. But here's the truth Tracy discovered after studying thousands of cases. You can break the loop. You can reprogram yourself. You can hack your own system. You can rewrite the code. It won't be easy. It won't be fast. It won't be comfortable. But it will be real. Because the same brain that created your problems can create your solutions. The same habits that sank you can elevate you. The same patterns that destroyed your wealth can build your fortune. Changing these habits means declaring war against who you are to become who you need to be. It means killing the version of yourself that created your current problems. It means embracing discomfort in service of growth. It's a funeral and a birth at the same time. The death of your excuses and the birth of your potential. The death of your limitations and the birth of your possibilities. The death of your victim story and the birth of your victory story. You're not poor because destiny decided it. You're not broke because the universe conspired against you. You're not struggling because you're unlucky. You're poor because 7 microscopic decisions repeat every day until they become your macroscopic reality. But here's the beautiful truth. The same force that built your failure can build your fortune. The same consistency that created your problems can create your success. The same compound effect that worked against you can work for you. The question isn't whether you can change. Science proves you can. Neuroplasticity shows your brain can form new patterns at any age. The question is whether you're willing to get uncomfortable enough to do it. Are you willing to think long-term when everyone around you thinks short-term? Are you willing to take responsibility when everyone around you plays victim? Are you willing to set specific goals when everyone around you lives in someday? Are you willing to upgrade your circle when everyone around you settles for mediocrity? Are you willing to invest in education when everyone around you chooses entertainment? Are you willing to act with incomplete information when everyone around you waits for perfection? Are you willing to live below your means when everyone around you lives above theirs? If you've made it this far, something already changed in you. The awakening has begun. You've heard the truth. You know the patterns. You understand the system. But knowledge without action is just expensive entertainment. Awareness without change is just sophisticated procrastination. This is your moment of truth. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when conditions are perfect. Right now, you have two choices. Choice 1. Close this video, go back to your comfortable patterns, keep doing what you've always done, and keep getting what you've always gotten. Blame the messenger. Find reasons why this doesn't apply to you. Return to your familiar failure. Choice 2. Accept that everything you've heard is true. Recognize these patterns in your own life. Decide that today is the day you break the cycle. Commit to becoming the person who naturally attracts wealth instead of repelling it. But understand this time you know exactly why you are where you are. You know the 7 habits that destroy wealth. You know the patterns that keep you trapped. You know the system that's been running your life. And that knowledge takes away forever your right to pretend it's not your fault. You can never again claim ignorance. You can never again play victim. You can never again wonder why others succeed while you struggle. The choice is yours. Transform or stay the same. Evolve or remain unchanged. Break free or stay trapped. But you can never again claim you didn't know better. Your bank account is waiting for your decision. Your future is waiting for your commitment. Your wealth is waiting for you to become the person who deserves it. The question is, are you ready to become that person? Because if you are, everything changes. Starting now,